Just as the great tradition continues, it's actually not a great tradition. The month of Minka on the boundary, how do you think it's gone? And of course, we're in December, so no one's saying what he's going to be long term. But in your heart of hearts, do you think he'd be just as effective playing there as he would at safety? After seeing him for a month there, or do you still not have enough of a body of work?
You are in my heart of hearts, Barry. You are.
Charming and poignant. Thank you.
He's done a good job. Again, he's it probably it had been a while since he's sort of played in that role out there. Dating back to earlier in his college career, so I think there was a little bit more of a learning curve getting up to speed out there than where we were playing him early in the year, kind of inside and safety and moving him around that way a little bit. So there's still some technique stuff and those sort of things that he's working through. But, I think he's just, again, everywhere we've put him and everywhere we've played him and everything we've asked him to play, he's done a good job with it. So it's hard to say, hey, to single him in again. Why we drafted him, and one of his qualities was his versatility. So I think it's a testament to his work ethic and his character and those sort of things. But I think there was a little bit of a learning curve early, but I think he settled into it pretty quickly, and he's done a good job out there. So that's hard for me to think long term right now. We're in a week-to-week world. So this week he's going to keep playing out there, and you can ask me the same question next week if you like.
Just for February.
Sure.
In the spirit of Barry Jackson, I'm going to ask a two-part question.
Okay.
How did Charles Clay get so open? And what was going through your mind when the ball was in the air?
I can't cuss though, right? Yeah, golly, man. It's maddening. I hate to say this, it was very similar to the week before. We had there was a timeout or TV timeout or however we got to the timeout before the play, and Adam and I was going through, hey, there's a couple things I'm thinking about, trying to call and going through this. Each one has its strengths and weaknesses. And one of the things we made a point in making the call that we did was, hey, if Allen gets out of the pocket, we have to latch on. It was similar to what happened the week before, where we had him in the grasp and luck got through and kind of things got loose. So we had all the guys in the back end over, said, look, we're going to make this call, and kind of the one thing is if he starts doing his thing back there, which obviously he had been all day, we have to latch on. And it was kind of, it was such a long play. He, reversed field about 4 times, and again, it just got lost in the wash a little bit. If you watch him, he it's kind of hard to explain, was in the middle of the field and literally in the very back of the end zone, and he just kind of floated as Allen moved to the defensive right, and everyone started kind of drifting that way. He just kept drifting back. He was literally almost hiding in the back of the end zone, then kind of came up through the back end of it. So, not good. There's really a couple people should have had a chance to locate him and didn't. When the ball's in the air, I promise you guys I wasn't going to cuss, so I can't give you my thoughts. I felt like it was in the air for about 3 minutes, one of those slow-mo, heart sinks into your stomach type of thing. So we're fortunate the ball kind of fell a little short and bounced out of there and got away with the win. So we tried not to have that happen again.
How do you think Charles Harris has done his first couple games back?
He's done a good job. Again, one of the things we've preached to Charles is just playing fast. He's getting off, playing fast, stop thinking, kind of turn that part of his brain off sometimes. He overthinks some things, and he's been cutting it loose a little bit more and running around playing fast. Like I said, he spent his off time, trying to get better in terms of physically and getting a little stronger and doing some of the things in the weight room. So I think that's helped him. He's kind of in good shape and moving around and playing more physical. But I think just for him, again, he's done a good job. Again, we're asking him to just go. Just use his explosion, use his speed, use his athleticism, and not let him overthinking things slow that part of his game down. So he's done a better job with that. So he keeps on that track. I think sort of the production and the finishing element will come.
And with Cornell Armstrong, just from watching him over the last 6 months, obviously he did enough on special teams to make the team. His development as a corner, what have you seen? What does he do well?
Yeah, he can run. That was why we brought him in the first place. That was one of the kind of the defining traits. He's got speed. one thing that's been cool with Cornell is it's not too big for him. Every time everything we've asked him to do, he's kind of done it, and coming from where he came from and stuff, you just have a concern if things get too big for him, and it hasn't been. He's kind of a quiet kid, but like he sits in the front row of my meetings and just sits there and pays attention and does everything and doesn't say much, and every time we put him out there, he just kind of does his thing. So I like his demeanor. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't kind of get shook by anything. And again, he has a defining trait that he can run. He's got speed. And again, he's had more opportunity on teams. He's done a good job there from according to Riz and some of those guys. So he's a good guy to have in the program for us.
Did you have a spy on Josh Allen throughout that game?
Yeah, at times. Yep.
On that same topic, one thing that was mentioned during the CBS broadcast, James Lofton was saying Kiko was the spy, wondered why Jerome was not. Is that an accurate portrayal? Was Kiko the spy, and if so, why Jerome wasn't?
I mean, we had, we had multiple different calls, multiple different spies. Kiko was at times, Jerome was at times, we had D linemen on him at times. I mean, we had, we had all sorts of things. I mean, even honestly, we were spying on the last play. The problem is when he doesn't, either he doesn't break the pocket, you have a spy where whoever it is, if you had a second level player that drops out and is spying him, like on that last play, he starts running around, it doesn't affect the play. Now you have one less guy kind of chasing him in terms of in a rush, in a pass rush situation. I mean, that's the trade-off you have. You're great if he breaks through and you have a guy spying him to try to overlap in terms of him running, but now he's only got 3-man rush and he's buying time back there, and the spy guy's trying to figure out where to go spy him. He runs that way and you start going there, then he reverses field and you kind of waste him, you know what I mean? So, we had spy elements at times. We didn't. We had some times where we were in sort of zone coverage or have hole droppers that need to have vision on them and have better discipline staying in their zones and having awareness of those sort of things. So, trust me, we threw a lot of different things at them. We're going to have to refine those when we play them again next time.
The possibility of playing without Xavier Howard makes you feel how?
Is that a real question, or? Obviously he's a great player. He's been outstanding for us this year. So anytime you have the possibility of not playing with one of your better, if not best players. I mean, but that's this league. Again, we've had a lot of injuries. We've dealt with those things, and it doesn't do me any good to worry about my feelings about it. If he's available to play, he'll play, and if he's not, he's not. And whoever's on the field's got to get some stops. So I'd try not to spend too much time examining my feelings. I could probably do a lot of woe is me from the whole season. It doesn't really matter. So we'll play with the guys that are ready to play, and if X is one of them, it'll be great. He'll hopefully continue his great season, and if not, we'll figure it out with the rest of them.
Matt, you're in a position of more scrutiny, I would say, than ever in your career. Is that fair?
Sure.
Every year it seems like coaches and some members of the media find someone just to complain about. And your name's come up more than once.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that at all?
Nope. You complain about me?
Do you think level of scrutiny that you're under is fair? Do you think it's at all?
It's part of the job. I mean, it is. That's fine. I signed up for this job freely, my own free will, and again, I know you guys. I joke with you guys. Like, I really don't. It's a waste of my time to try to get into all that stuff and worry about what people are saying about me. I mean, only people that matter is Adam and Mr. Ross and Mike and Chris and the guys that are in part of this organization. So I don't care, and I don't follow it and don't pay attention to it. It's a waste of my energy to do that. So, but we can get into big picture topics about the state of our culture and the media if you really want. Sometimes probably not the time, but I agreed to that. That part of the job when I signed up for this role. So I signed my contract.
I'll give a sense how you've done as coach this year.
I feel like I've done a good job. I try every week to put our players in the best position to make plays, and done that sometimes. We haven't the other times. There's calls I regret. There's calls I'm excited about. So again, we're week to week. It's really hard for me to big picture evaluate myself. In the course of a season, I'm trying to win a ball game this week. So again, really, it's the feedback I worry about is Adam and what he cares about and what he wants. I try to give him what he's looking for as a coach. So that's really all I concern myself with.
With Torrey McTyer, if he's going to have to be in the game, how much do you think he's learned from when he played earlier this season, and how much do you think he'll be picked on by Tom Brady?
I can't speak to their plan of attack.
But you know Tom Brady's history.
I do. I honestly, I don't know how much we picked on. I think it was funny. I was watching some of our stuff from last year against them. Pulled some stuff up, and Torrey played, and he's wearing 33. He's wearing a different number, and I was like, who the hell's 33? I was like watching this tape. I couldn't figure it out for like 10 minutes. I was watching the game like, who? I can't remember if we signed somebody late in the season. It took me forever to figure it out. And so Torrey played a little bit, at the end of the season for us last year and played in that game against them here. So, obviously, anytime young players get experience, game time experience, like that's part of their growth process, and you'd hope that experience and good or bad, he's had some ups and downs. But contributes to him growing and developing and seeing things more, seeing plays from this offense and those sort of things multiple times. So, again, I can't speak to their target plan or their plan of attack. And, again, we're going to have different guys out there at different spots and try to help them all out.
Last time they showed everybody that, hey, if you run at them, they'll eventually break.
They run at who?
Patriots, it's you guys, Dolphins.
If they run at us?
Yes. Yes. They had 180.
Oh, in the running game, you're saying? I thought
yes.
We're off Torrey.
Huh?
We're off Torrey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I wasn't following.
Do you feel like you fixed some of those issues that they sort of put on the table?
Yeah, I think, we've had ups and downs in the run game, downs and ups, maybe, if you want to say it that way. We've obviously dedicated a lot of time last month or so, especially to trying to clean up some of those things. And we've had some moving pieces in the front, on the interior and those sort of things. So, yeah, I do. I think we've addressed a lot of things. Again, last week, our rushing numbers looked like crap because of quarterback running around. We did a good job in the actual running game, I thought. So we've been better in that mode really since kind of the Houston week-ish, trying to address some of those things. So I feel pretty good about our plan against the run game this week.
You mentioned Allen's rushing totals.
Yeah.
What could have or should have limited that?
Everything. Again, it's something like that. Like to me, there's all three levels are responsible for I don't want to say those issues, but we got to do a better job in the rush plan of keeping them in. Whether it's spies or guys in the back end and zone coverage have to have better eyes and awareness and vision when he does start breaking out. We have to get him on the ground when we have an opportunity to. And we had multiple guys just slip off him or miss, and he's a big guy. That's part of the challenge. He's a big athlete. It's not just like a little quick guy running around. So he shrugged off a couple guys. So I think it's just a multi-layer thing. We saw it the week before. It wasn't, in Jacksonville, he ran around a lot and almost had 100 yards rushing in Jacksonville. And so we were ready for it. I'm not sure if our guys maybe didn't totally understand what was coming, Obviously, he broke out a few times on us, but I think it's got to have the awareness, a disciplined plan in terms of how we're rushing and keeping him in. Again, then the next level players, whether it's a spy, whether it's guys with vision coverage, that if and when he does get out, who the next guy is to clean that thing up. You can't have guys out of their rush lanes or rushes missing a tackle on them, and then nobody with backs turned or no one with vision on them. Then it turns a 5-yard scramble into a 25-yard scramble. So it's a dedicated disciplined approach from all levels of defense.
We're good.
Thanks.
Thank
Cool.
you.
All right, fellas.